This is the follow-up video to the Connect and Sell platform test that we ran last week. I apologize, I'm a bit later than I expected to be on sending this video out, so my apologies. Let me give you my first impressions of Connect and Sell. I think that the platform actually was quite helpful and quite useful, certainly giving you some ability to scale your calling campaigns very early. Now, this was the first time that I had tested the platform, so I had a bit of a learning curve as I initially got exposed to the onboarding process and actually got into the calling. So we scheduled the onboarding call in order to get up and running for about a half an hour. It took us more like an hour and a half, but those were largely due, I think, to a few technical issues as well as some logistic issues that we had here internally at the office. So, but overall, I thought that the onboarding process went well. I think that the platform, seems a bit daunting at first, but once you understand actually how it works and you've seen it in action a few times, you can quickly get adjusted to it. I think overall the ability to test it first is really important, but again, I would plan on an onboarding process that took more like an hour versus a half an hour. I don't think a half an hour is really sufficient to be able to onboard effectively with it. Now, the tool has some pretty interesting features in the sense that you can get some of the team listening in on the individual calls. They have a feature called Whisper, where either the Connect and Sell team or your internal team can, if you're a coach, you can whisper into the ear of your sales reps, give them live coaching as they're on their calls. So that's a pretty cool feature that, without a sophisticated phone system, it's sometimes hard to do. Also, the support levels were extremely high, I think, from both Cody and Seth. Both of them were very involved with the process. Both of them were consistently there answering questions whenever we needed them to. Both of them consistently, held our hand when we were a little bit reticent on how each of the different features of the platform work. So overall, I would say the customer support coming from Connect and Sell is top notch. Some of the best I've seen actually in trialing a product. So that was a really good experience with the Connect and Sell team. So let me get into some of the actual numbers and the results that we got out of the campaign so you can get a sense of what the metrics look like. We had roughly 707 calls that we made on the platform during the course of about a 4-hour session. There were 2 of us engaged in the platform and accepting and making calls. We had roughly almost a 6% actually connection rate with the people that we talked to, and it ended up in roughly about 45 new conversations with people we had never spoken to over the course of that 4 hours. So overall, I think the connection rates and the ability to talk to new people was very strong, because if you think about 45 new conversations, that would take a significant amount of time to reach that number if we were making calls, solely on our own. So. Again, a number of those calls, about 65% or so, either weren't able to reach the end user or went to voicemail, which is fine. There's a feature in the system where you can leave automated voicemails if you want to do that. We chose not to for this particular trial run, but you can do that with Connect and Sell. And overall, I thought that the platform was relatively easy to use. And again, the results were pretty good. I think maybe some of the challenges I had initially were, being quick enough to get on the phone, because it's using a combination of an automated dialer and live people. So the alert maybe could be a bit stronger, a bit more aggressive when it alerts you that somebody is actually waiting on the line for you. I think it took a little bit of a learning curve to get adjusted to how quickly to start talking on the calls and how to transition. So those were, again, not so much issues, I don't think, with the platform, more issues with the onboarding and the ability to get ramped up on the platform overall. So again, overall, about a 6.5 percent connection rate to the individuals we called, about a 45 new conversations over the course of that 4 hours. So overall, I thought it was a successful trial run of the Connect and Sell platform. Again, good way to scale your team. I think it'd be really useful if you had multiple salespeople to scale, because I think, again, sending calls to multiple people could certainly add even more scale to the Connect and Sell platform. Ease of use, I think, was at first seemed more difficult, but later on in the day, it became easier and easier to use as I got more accustomed to the platform. Customer service and support from Seth and Cody, top notch all the way, some of the best I've had again. and overall just a really, I think, interesting platform that's here to stay, very useful when it comes to making outbound dials. So anyway, that's my initial feedback of Connect and Sell. If you have any questions or want to talk about it any further, just PM me below or reach out to me directly. In the meantime, good